All right, so we at the Barcamp Copenhagen 2008.
Yeah.
So what is going on? There's a lot of things going on here on the wall.
This is what we've been doing all day, basically. This is our schedule for the day, and people has just been kind of keeping on adding stuff to the schedule. So actually, 5 minutes ago, somebody added a Mac iPhone workshop, which is the first time this day that room number 3 is going to be taken into action. So that's really interesting. So yeah.
So we just here there was a patent and copyright. And we're going to have a discussion over there on the table with the patent and copyright people.
Yes, I think so. I think that is what the plan is. And yeah, sitting right over here. Let's go.
So that should be exclusive. And after that.
So let's continue the patent discussion. You have this new. You have a new idea for the patent.
Okay, so the idea basically is that we want to limit the amount of money you can make from a patent. And we also want that if you make a patent, you publish all the knowledge which relates to the patent. And let's take an example. I make a patent. I start...
You do an invention and you patent the invention.
Oh yeah, I make an invention and I don't make a patent, yeah, that's right. I just file for a patent. I make an invention and patent it, and depending on the kind of invention, and max amount will be set for this invention or this patent. And other companies can then begin using my patent, and they will pay me money for using this. When I reach the max amount of revenue made from the patent will expire, and everyone is free to use the IP that I developed. And I will get a few years' salary from this.
So you have a formula for that, like
an
idea for formula.
I've tried to do a formula.
Yeah. So what do you think should be the patent revolution? What would you suggest?
Well, if you just go back in time, look at patents and copyright, it's a deal between the inventor, creator, and society. That I write a novel, and I can sell that novel for a couple of years without anybody copying the novel, printing it for themselves and selling it under their name, and I don't get any money. So that's the way it's designed to be. Unfortunately, by now, that couple of years has expired to like a lifetime plus another century. And in terms of business patents, it's also quite long, which gives rise to companies that come up with inventions, patent them, and then don't do anything about them. So what I like about Torben's thinking is that we should limit. After you make a certain amount of money from your patent, it should just expire or your copyright, and everybody else can use it. So we can remix and innovate on top of the patent and have better stuff. So that's very good.
So do you think like somebody like Google should categorize all the patents? Or is there something you can do in a database or on the internet? Or
so patents, at least in the US, are in a database with a lot of background information on how they work, by the way. And Google is indexing those. I'm not sure what they're doing with it beyond that, but you can do searches on patents with Google.
Because you suggested that people should collaborate on some kind of wiki on the internet and...
Yeah, I want all the documentation needed for giving out a patent. It should be much more elaborate. You need to very detailed, give all the thinking and all the IP related to this patent has to be stored centrally, so anyone can read from it and improve on it. That's a very big part of it.
But that is what is required. If you file a patent, you have to explain completely with legal detail of how your invention works. Because your exact description of the invention, that's what the patent is about. So if you figure out a slightly different way, then you can circumvent the patent by having a slightly different way of doing things. So the patents are publicly accessible and have the exact workings.
Yeah, just by sort of changing a patent just a bit, or the way you make this product so it doesn't violate the patent. The need for being so specific, I actually would like to remove that. So if you have a patent, it's important to remember that if you have a patent, you can't restrict anyone from using the patent. Anyone is free to use it. They have to pay you royalties until the max revenue available for this patent has been monetized.
If you don't want somebody else to use it, you should just keep it a secret.
then you should keep it secret. Then you can't get a patent for it.
Right. What do you think Obama is going to do about this? What should he do if you were his patent secretary?
This is not an important enough problem for the world right now. So he's not going to do anything about it. What he should do is, at least in copyright, bring back copyright terms to a decade, perhaps 2 decades. Because, making money limits, that's pretty radical. Getting it back to a more normal time period is a lot better. And I'm not sure about the numbers, I think it used to be like you get 14 years, or you get a 7-year extension, you get 21 years, and that's it. I think if we'd have that, that'd be great. A couple of months back we had discussions in Europe where, Cliff Richards, I don't know, one of the Beatles guys, was running out of his music copyrights. They were saying those rockers are going to lose their pension income. Which is utter bullshit, because they should have seen it coming all those years that the music copyright was going to expire. And because it's a balance between society and the artist, we want the copyright to expire so we can make new music, remixing the old songs. And by right now having the copyright terms so long, we can't do that. So we need to make them a lot smaller so we can remix more music.
Cool. All right. So we'll send this video to Obama for sure.
What I just want to comment on this is there's no reason that if you make a one-hit wonder, you can actually make more money than you will ever be able to spend in a whole lifetime. There's no reason for that. The person actually just becomes obsolete and leeches on society. Doesn't give anything back to society.
No,
the important thing is you have to give something back. You have to benefit. The society should benefit from you.
No, the society benefits if after 10 years you can remix a song. There's nothing wrong with making a shitload of money. There's nothing wrong with making, but you have to figure out if the way you make the money is the right way. So if you make a song which is very popular, everybody in the world buys a copy, and you make a shitload of money, that's fine. But after a couple of years, somebody else should be able to take that song and do a different version and make a shitload of money.
I don't want them actually to be able to make a shitload of money.
If they do, that's fine. That's the way it is.
Yeah, but they make a shitload of money and then do nothing else the rest of their life.
That's a very simplistic.
I know.
Viewpoint,
But
which is very respectful of the artist in question.
Humankind doesn't benefit from them anymore. So it's all right. They
benefit
can
enough to make him a lot of money. That's the balance. I realize we're in Denmark where, if you make a lot of money, you should pay way more tax, which is fine because that's how you can contribute back with the money you make.
Yeah, you pay like 80% here, right?
60 at top.
60.
But there is nothing wrong with doing something which generates a lot of money. If you start a company which becomes very successful, and you sell it for 100 million to Google, and you make 20 million of that, that's fine. Is 20 million enough to make a living? Absolutely. And yes, perhaps you that's all you do for the rest of your life, and then you just spend it, or you start a new company and you start helping artists record music. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with making a lot of money.
I just don't like artists who sit on the butt the rest of their life because they made a one-hit wonder.
And they
no one benefits from it except themselves.
So what?
And they drink the beer the whole life.
What's wrong with Rick Astley having this one song, which was a very popular song back in the day, and he made a lot of money, and that's enough for him? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong.
He doesn't contribute to society.
He did contribute.
Someone who works like 30 years of his life, hard labor, physical labor.
That's much more important
than
him making one good song.
He contributes to life, and he will probably gain what? In Denmark, he wouldn't barely be able to buy a house these times.
Exactly.
It's just an unfair division of goods, right?
Well, that's why the guy making a lot of money pays 60% in tax.
But it doesn't really matter. I don't mind paying tax.
No. We're switching into income discussions now.
All right. But thanks a lot, and we hope Obama will see this and take notice.
What the fuck do we care about Obama? We're in Europe.
Please
we don't care. We don't care.
Send it to
Send it to European Parliament. That's
Send it
far
to
more
Kate.
interesting.
Okay, we'll do that.